We'll tackle the banks to get you approved.
Let our solution squad show you why we're Enterprise's favorite dealer.
Whether it's new or pre-owned, we've got you covered at Plaza Drive Enterprise or online at MitchellChrysler-Ram.com.
We know life can be fun and exciting, but also sometimes challenging. With always being on the go, it can be tough to take care of the big little things, like getting a loan for a more reliable car. Sometimes you just need some help that works with you on your terms. And that's exactly what you get with Max Credit Union. With convenient tools like loan updates right to your phone and personal service, you can get more done in less time. And that is something to cheer about.
In the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle? We've got what you're looking for.
So come see us at Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Troy, and you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC.
Josh Malloy here, Mitchell Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and I'm calling an all-out blitz on all of our pre-owned inventory. This month,
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Charles Henderson High School Trojans Coaches Show. I'm your host, David Helms, and with me in the studio, Coach Quinn Hambright.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Of the victorious Trojans.
Yeah. Feels
Coach,
good.
Yes,
victorious
sir.
Trojans. That sounds good.
There you go. Coach, you got back on the winning track last week with a big victory over St. James. You knew they were going to be tough.
Yep.
They came in and played a tough ball game. It was a non-region game. So that puts your record at 4-1. You're still 2-0 in the region. And Coach, they came in averaging 42 points a game. You held them to 14.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, I got a chance to watch the game, thoroughly enjoyed it. Your kids played hard.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. They, you're right. They played hard. You know, the second half, we kind of buckled down. You know, it took some halftime encouragement to get them to do that. But, you know, St. James just drove the ball down our throats on their first drive. And we answered, and then we scored again, and they scored at the end of the half. So, you know, they went in the half with the momentum, but we had to understand that we had to settle down and play football. And that's exactly what we did. You know, 5 turnovers in the second half. They didn't score in the second half because of that. So, you know, 3 interceptions, a fumble, and a turnover on downs. So I was extremely proud of Coach Graham and the adjustments that he made defensively to help us win that game.
Right. Well, as you mentioned, Coach, they did take the opening drive down and score, I think, 12 plays. And you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but, you know, when you get that opening drive, I mean, people have scouted you. You know, they do things you're going to have to adjust to. And it's kind of one of them things you're just getting into how the game's going to flow, and sometimes that happens. But as you said, you did respond. Zach Coleman scores on, I think, a 16-yard run. It tied up. And then you took the lead. I want to say on Parker Adams had a run.
Parker Adams in the red zone.
You took the lead on a 14-7. They scored right before the half. So you go in 14-14 at the half, and, you know, I'm watching the game, as I said, so I'm kind of looking at that first few minutes of the third quarter, and let's see what's going to happen. And as you said, I think Zach Coleman again had a 7-yard run in the third quarter.
Yeah.
And I want to say you that came off a turnover maybe.
It did.
And then Coach, I thought the interception, I want to say it was Mario Davenport. You had several interceptions, but inside the 10-yard line just seemed to me was a momentum swing.
Yeah, it definitely was. You know, they had a little drive going. They threw a bubble to number 2, and we knew he was a blazer. And like I said that last week on the show, like, he is fast. So when we called him, I was like, okay, let's settle down. And, you know, they came back to it, but we call it a rub route. So they tried to pump fake it to 2 and throw it to the receiver.
Right.
And the safety, you know, not biting down, very disciplined. Mario Davenport got over top of it, ended up intercepting the ball. So, you know, that was great discipline on our end, you know, to play with our eyes and our instincts, you know, and not play with, you know, come down on the pump fake. So, you know, Mario made an exceptional catch. I wish he would have kept his feet, but he probably would have scored. You know, but I'm proud of him. He's caught an interception in every game this season.
Right.
Yep.
So, and listen, last week you told me the quarterback was tough.
Yeah.
D1 player.
Yep.
Their running back number 5 was good, but their quarterback, lefty, I mean, he can throw the football.
Yeah, he can spin it. He put it in places that, you know, some of those incompletions were actually drops. I mean, literally, we didn't touch him. It looks like a pass breakup, but, you know, after watching film, even live, I was like, we didn't touch that ball. He just dropped it.
Right.
I mean, he can fit it through the smallest of windows. So, you know, he was really good. He was exactly what I expected and a little bit more.
Right. Well, y'all beat a good football team, no doubt about it. And so after the interception, I see Juwan Boyd scored on a 45-yard punt return. That gives you the 26-14 lead you need. And then I want to say Quay Scott and is it
Saquon
Fagan had interceptions that kind of sealed the deal. And, Coach, the stats had you at 290 yards with 186 of those rushing. So your offensive line must have played pretty well.
Yeah, the offensive line played extremely well. You know, we came into the game, you know, knowing that, you know, we can lean on them a little bit. And we knew that they were going to be tough, but we knew we were going to be bigger. And at some point in the game, you know, playing a 3A team, you know, they play both ways.
Right.
You know, they were going to get tired of those big guys just leaning on them, and that's exactly what we did. We just held strong in the inside zone. As simple play as it was, you know, we just held on to it, and it worked.
Yeah. And, you know, after Mario's interception, and I got a little note here I was going to ask you about it. Yeah, your offensive line, I mean, they just moved it out from the goal line.
Yeah.
And you went on out and just, I think at that point just started taking control.
Yeah, definitely.
And but I see that Zach Coleman was your workhorse. I have him down for 77 yards, 13 carries, 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
And number 20, Frazier, ran the ball hard as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm proud of Antonio. Yeah. Antonio's a sophomore. Yeah. He has long legs. I mean, he can run the rock. If he starts to run with vision, you know, he'll be, you know, that'll be a good two-headed monster that we can go into the playoffs with, hopefully.
Right. And I have Frazier down for 64 yards on 10 carries. I have Parker Adams, 42 yards rushing and a touchdown, and 8 for 14 passing for 104 yards. And I have Boyd with 2 catches, and is it Stephon Mosley had 2 catches, I believe. But as we talked about, Coach, you shut them out in the second half, and defensively, I know Zion Grady and Damian Hart played well.
Yeah, they played lights out. You know, Zion Grady, shout out to him. You know, he had the Alabama offer earlier this week, Arkansas offer earlier this week, and today he got Washington State. So I'm extremely proud of my sophomore. He's racking them up, and he's showing that he's worth every single offer he's getting on the football field. And Damian Hart is literally the heart and soul of the defense. You know, I think he tallied up for 9 or 10 tackles. You know, he always finds the ball. You know, his instincts are phenomenal. His football IQ is out of this world, and so I'm extremely proud of the player that he's becoming. You know, if Damian was a 6'1", 220-pound linebacker, the colleges would be knocking down the door for him. You know, but he's just a little on the size at 6 foot, about 205, 210. So, you know, but you know, he's an exceptional football player.
But that instinct will overcome some of that size.
Oh yeah, definitely. And he's tough. He's tough as nails.
Now, what grade's he in, Coach?
He's a senior.
Okay.
Yeah, he's one of the seniors.
But Zion Grady is a sophomore. Okay.
Yes, sir.
But let me ask you this. Now, if you got a player, we'll just use Zion as an example, that's been offered, you know, D1 offers, man, that's got to motivate the underclassmen. Look, man, I can do it too.
It does. It does.
It just opens up the gate.
It opens it up, and it makes when you have guys like a Jawan, a Damian, a Zion, you know, college coaches will come to your campus to put eyes on them, and when they see him, they come in the weight room. They see 1, 2, 3, 4 more. Coach, who is that? What grade is he in?
Yeah.
Who is that? What grade is he in? So it just builds a pipeline around a nation of coaches with that, you know, would trust my word. They say, hey, this is a player right here. You need to offer him, or you should offer him, you know, and they'll trust my word because, you know, I've sent the Marlon Davisons, the Mac Wilsons, the Sean Dion Hamiltons, you know, of the world to Alabama and Auburn, and you know, they're successful NFL players now. Right. And so, you know, just building that pipeline for those kids so they can see those coaches, and it motivates them. Oh, I see a college coach. Yep. Let me step my game up just a little bit more. And I take full advantage of it because I'm gonna make sure those coaches come in. And I'm gonna make sure they see our guys.
Right. And that eye in the sky, that camera on Friday
eye in the
night,
sky don't lie.
It doesn't, does it?
It doesn't at all. So, you know, you perform under those lights, you perform on that camera, you know, good things to happen for you.
Right. Well, Coach, let me ask you this. Is there any particular areas of focus this week in practice?
O-line, for sure. You know, we're missing 2 key starters on the offensive line, we got some young guys stepping up that have had a pretty good practice. We usually go into a season. I usually go to a season with 6 O-linemen in mind. That if we need to get out, we got one that can play at least 2 of them and a backup center. That way. But now we got a 6 and a plus,
right.
plus 1. So that's going to be something to watch tomorrow for sure. If we control the line of scrimmage tomorrow with this O-line that we're putting out, and I think we're going to be a good football team down the road.
That sounds good. Well, Coach, let's flip the page now to your next opponent. And as I understand it, you're going to play tomorrow night.
Yes, sir.
7 o'clock. It is homecoming. We may talk about that later, but you got the Rehoboth Rebels coming in.
Yep.
It's your last home game in a series of 6 home games, which I don't believe I've ever seen that before.
I don't know how that.
But anyway, it is a region game, and they've got a record of 2-4 overall. They're 0-2 in the region right now. Wins over Ashford and Wicksburg, and y'all do have a common opponent in Carroll High School. They lost to Carroll 21-7. Y'all defeated Carroll 38-14. Which means nothing
at all,
prior to the game. But tell us a little bit about what kind of weapons they have, Rehoboth.
Yeah, they have some pretty good athletes over there. They're a hard-nosed, downhill team. They're going to play hard in the trenches. They're going to play tough in the trenches, and they're going to try to hit you, and they're going to try to hit you hard. If we match their physicality, and and try to hit them in the perimeters, up the middle, stretch the field, those things. Keep them on the run. I think we'll give ourselves a chance. But, they're a team that you have to respect, because they right now they're 0-2, so they have nothing to lose. So what we're going to get out of them is everything that they have. So we have to prepare as such, We're just Charles Henderson High School. Last year we didn't do anything. Nobody's going to lay down for us. I told them today, respect your opponent. Just because you beat them last year, that's not the same team, just like you're not the same team. So, we really have to respect them as a team, and we have to come out and play, because I know they're coming to play. We're going to get their A game. I know that for a fact. So, and I hope our guys are willing and ready to accept that and accept the challenge as well.
Right. And I'm going to ask you this, and because that's what everybody asks coaches this question right here on homecoming week. You had a pretty good prep week, or a lot of distractions, of course.
Yeah,
they stayed focused pretty good.
Yeah, there are distractions, but this is one of the better weeks we've had practice, as far as competing in practice.
Right.
There was a lot of smack talking on back and forth, and when you start to care, you start to talk a little bit more, and that's even with each other. Start holding each other accountable. Hey man, let's go. We have to do this, we have to do that, and you see that camaraderie come together, you see them hold each other accountable, and you see them talking smack to the other side of the ball, and at the end of practice, it's always, hey man, y'all had a heck of a practice over there, man, good job. That's that growth that we're showing, and I'm extremely proud of them for gelling together and molding each other to be good young men and good teammates as well.
Right. Well, Coach, again, well, let me ask you this. Have y'all had any JV games lately?
Yeah, we played, last week was canceled. We played Dothan this week.
Okay.
Yeah, they beat us pretty bad.
Okay.
They beat us pretty bad. But, it's hard to prepare for single wing Notre Dame type offense.
Right.
Yes. Old Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Yeah, so, that's that wedge, pounding ground. And, there was about 5 kids that we had that didn't play because they missed Sunday's practice, and I don't know why they think that they're going to play, but I don't play about missing practice. So
right.
if you miss Sunday's practice, that's a day before your game day.
Right.
It's just like our kids missing today to play tomorrow.
Right.
We just can't let that happen. So we miss some key guys, but
well, Coach, I want to thank you again for what you're doing. The community's excited, the school's excited, school system excited. You got them playing hard and moving in the right direction. And listen, we're gonna wish you a lot of luck tomorrow night. It is a Thursday game, 7 o'clock. It is homecoming, and Rehoboth, you'll get their best effort. I'm sure.
We're gonna get every single thing they got.
But hey, good luck.
I appreciate it.
Hope you have a big win.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Go Trojans.
Take care, man.
Pre-owned vehicle will be discounted.
You can punch your old ride and choose from our great selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs.
Even if your credit's been sacked,
We'll tackle the banks to get you approved.
let our Solution Squad show you why we're Enterprise's favorite dealer.
Whether it's new or pre-owned, we've got you covered at Plaza Drive Enterprise or online at MitchellChryslerDodgeRem.com.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Are you ready?
Sometimes more is more. And with Max Checking, I enjoy more with perks, like access to my paychecks 2 days early, free overdraft protection, earning rewards everywhere I spend, and more of everything that makes life a little sweeter. You can enjoy more too with Max Credit Union.
Wiley Sanders Truck Line, the place that puts God and family first. How long you been driving for Wiley Sanders?
7 years.
How long you been driving for Wiley?
6 years.
How many miles you get away?
2,500.
Wow, how many miles you get away?
2,700.
Are you in the 401k?
Yes, sir.
Matching at 4%?
Yes.
Wow, Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, Troy, Alabama. Are y'all happy?
Oh, very happy.
Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, Troy, Alabama. Come drive for the best today. Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, Troy, Alabama.
Our wide selection of pre-owned vehicles looks so good, you'll think they're new. So take the
Hey, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Goshen Eagles Coaches Show. I'm David Helms, your host, and in the studio is Coach Don Moore, the head coach of the Eagles. Coach, welcome.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Thank
How you doing?
I'm good.
Good deal. Well, Coach, big homecoming win. It's always good to win homecoming.
Oh, yeah, it is.
And y'all had a big win over Kinston last week. It was a non-region game.
Yes, sir.
63-19. Brings your record to 4-2 and 1-2 in region play. And, Coach, this is the second game in a row you've scored over 60.
Yes, sir. We've been, well, like I said, we've been really challenging our guys each week. I told them that the second half of the season starts this week, and I kind of gave us our stats and all for the previous 5 games. I said, I wanted to make sure our stats on the offensive end were way up, and on the defensive end were way down. And that's kind of where we're at. I said, because we got some tough games coming up. We got to be clicking on all cylinders by the time we hit those. And so I've been proud of our guys so far about the way they responded with that.
Right. Well, I figured it up last night. I mean, you're averaging 40 points a game, now. So so your offense is clicking. I see where is it Shamaric Andrews?
Shamaric, yes, sir.
Now, he's a sophomore, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, running back, scored 4 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jamari McClure scored 3 touchdowns, I guess 1 rushing and 2 by the pass.
Yes, sir.
But I wanted to mention for our viewers that I know they know this, Jamari was the TB&T Athlete of the Week last week.
He was.
So congratulations to him.
He's had it twice this year.
So he had a big game against Lafayette.
Mm-hmm.
For that, but well, Coach, you were up 42-7 at the half, and so you like I said, your offense was clicking the first half.
Yes,
so
sir.
You kind of jumped on them.
Yes, sir. And we got 3 turnovers in the first half too, so that was huge for us. So defense was playing well. They had one little play that we let up on right after a turnover. We had turned the ball over, and that was my chance to talk about the bad things. So You know, you can't let up, especially when a turnover happens. That's when people start losing
Right.
focus, and that's what happened. We just kind of
Right.
lost focus there for a play, and they hit us.
It was a good teaching moment, though.
It was, yes, sir.
Definitely. Well, we mentioned this is Merrick Andrews, had 4 touchdowns. I want to say the stats had him for 212 yards on 15 carries.
Yes, sir.
And then Jamar McClure, 123 yards on 15 carries. So, pretty good 1-2 punch there, man.
It is. You know, when I challenged Merrick last week, I told him, I said, man, you know, you've been kind of silent on offense here the last few weeks. You know, we need you to come on now because y'all been kind of getting the same amount of carries. Like,
right.
You know, and he responded to that well. And I did that with Jamari on defense. I said, you know, we need you playing a little bit harder on defense. And
right.
they both responded well. Like Jamari had an interception. He had a bunch of tackles. He was running around. I mean, they both rose to the challenge on both sides of the ball like that. And you know, and that's what good players do. And sometimes you got to challenge them to perform better. And you know, we all get kind of a little lax, and sometimes we need somebody to motivate us. And you know, those 2 kids are so coachable and want to win so bad and so unselfish. You know, it's just I got goosebumps just talking about them because they're just exciting to have on your team because they're just good teammates, good kids, good athletes. You know, and there's a bunch of other ones too. You know, but those guys just respond well when they're challenged.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, athletes that have talent like these guys do, but the coachable part, you mentioned that. You know, when you're coachable and humble, and that's the kind of teammate you want.
Oh,
right
it is.
there.
It is.
What about your O-line? You know, you got 2 ball carriers like this. You had to have been pleased with their play.
Yes, sir, I was. They've been doing a lot better. Like I said, I've been on them kind of hard the last few weeks, and they've been doing a lot better. You know, so I mean, those guys, you know, they don't get a whole lot of credit. You know, I'm gonna mention some of those guys right now. It's Jacoby Brunson, he's a 9th grader, he's our center. Christian Simmons, he's left guard. Cody Kilpatrick's our right guard. They're both juniors. Lance Tillery just got offered by Faulkner University this Saturday. He's our left tackle. He's the senior, and our right tackle is A.J. Brown. And our tight ends, we kind of switch them in and out. It's Jacob Sape, Isaiah McKinney, and Jaden McNabb.
What grade is your right tackle in?
Right tackle, sophomore. No, excuse me, junior.
Yeah.
He's a junior, I'm sorry.
And you got a 9th grade center?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So you getting all them but one back.
Yes, sir.
That's wonderful, man. Well, they sure did a good job apparently Friday night. But coaching, you also had Braxton Jones score a touchdown on an 11-yard run.
Yes,
what
sir.
grade's he in?
He's a senior.
Okay.
You know, he's one of those guys that he works extremely hard when he's there. All the time he's there. He doesn't get to play a whole lot. We do get him in when we can, and you know, it was just exciting to see.
Oh yeah.
See those guys. You know, their hard work paying off and and getting in the end zone.
Right. Well, Coach, I have Peyton Stamey, 3 of 5 for 58 yards, 3 touchdowns. I hope that's right.
Yes, sir.
McClure, Jamar had 2 touchdown receptions, and then I got Tyler McClendon for a 26-yard touchdown pass reception. Okay. What about defensively? I have Andrew Galloway with 5 tackles. Is it Zerick McKinney with 4 tackles? Andrews, you mentioned him already. I had him down for 4 tackles.
Yes, sir.
But defensively, did you have anybody else kind of stand out? And
like I said, Jamar McClure did well.
That's
Our
right,
defensive line, Leon Cowart, he's our nose guard, and he did well. You know, Brody Wilkes is another guy that plays hard. He's one of our inside linebackers. You know, and KJ Bristow, he's one of our corners that does well. And you know, Andrew Galloway is the guy that I challenged last week. You know, I kind of rode him kind of hard, but he's one of those other coachable kids that responds to it. And he played really, really well.
What position does he play?
Well, we kind of float him around. He's a guy that kind of knows a little bit of everything.
Right.
He plays outside backer some. He plays strong safety some for us.
Gotcha.
He plays free safety some for us. So we just kind of mix him in there.
Coach, I got to ask you this. Leon Cowart, you mentioned, you don't know his dad's name, do you? Is it Leon Cowart?
I think so. Yes, sir.
The reason I'm telling you, if it's the same guy, you know, way back when he was a player for us at Goshen, I'm going to tell you what, he was a headhunter.
Yeah.
So
his daddy played at Goshen's. I do know that.
Well, I tell you what, he was a good one. But hey, what about areas of focus this week in practice? Any in particular area you've been working on?
Just steadily the fundamental stuff, the basic stuff, the tackling and blocking. You know, knowing our assignment still. You know, and just don't be lackadaisical this week after two big wins like that in a row.
Right.
You know, let's get refocused for what we got because we start region play again.
Right. Well, and let's flip the page now and talk about that, Coach. Yeah, you got an away region game this week with Barber County, the Barber County Jaguars, and they play in Clayton, which is my hometown. You know, they're 0-5 right now on the season, which has been my experience. They're the most dangerous kind to play.
Right. Oh yeah, they are. They have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Right.
It's their homecoming,
Okay.
so they're going to be excited. They're going to be pumped up. You know, I told our guys that's the challenge this week is, you know, can you get over there and go take care of business?
Yeah.
You know, because that's what good teams do. When we talk about our standard, that's really what we've been hitting on this week.
Right.
Is our standard doesn't change no matter what the record of the other team is.
Gotcha.
We can't ride the roller coaster of when we play a good team of being here and being focused all week, and when we play a team that hadn't had a whole lot of success, being down here and just, you know, going through the motion. So that's been the theme this week. So
play to a standard, not to your competition.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Coach, let me ask you this: they got any? I mean, what are their weapons that you might have to?
Their quarterback's decent. They got a couple of receivers that are pretty good. They're shifty guys. Number 10's an athlete. You know, they got some big guys up front to get after it. You know, they do well with what they got.
Right.
You know?
Well, I tell you what, they're typically a basketball school. I wonder how many kids actually play basketball that are out football, because those are usually your skilled guys.
Yes, sir.
Well, Coach, I think I was going to ask you, you know, when you're playing a team that hadn't won a game, and we mentioned that those are sometimes the most dangerous ones, but I was going to ask you, you know, how do you motivate your players to stay focused? But you already answered that.
Right. Yeah, it's tough. You know, I'm not going to lie and say it isn't, but you know, that's what we preach is, you know, we're gonna practice to our standard, not to, you know, and that's at a high level.
That's right. That sounds good. Well, have you had a JV game last week or so?
We did. We had one this past Monday. We beat Highland home 6-0.
Okay. So you've had what, 3 or 4 already?
Yes, sir.
Right?
They're 4-1 right now.
Okay. Awesome. Well, Coach, have you had any? We've talked about Braxton Jones a few minutes ago. Have you had any other young guys that have stepped up? I mean, we're at a little over the midpoint of the season that I'm not going to say you weren't counting on, but has somebody really jumped out there and maybe surprised you and become a player?
Jabari Williams is, you know, he's a sophomore that's kind of come on and started playing for us in the secondary some. You know, he's been doing well. Jade McNabb is another guy that has come on really strong. He's our backup quarterback, but we also was like, hey, we got to get this guy on the field.
Right.
So we started putting him at receiver and at tight end some and doing some other things like that. Those are 2 right now that kind of jump out at me that, you know, that we use a lot and, you know, we've gotten a lot of success out of.
Right. That's great. Well, Coach, I want to thank you for all you do.
Yes, sir.
You and your staff, and I know the community is excited about your start. You know, and we're going to, you know, hope and everything keeps going and you keep rolling and you win out, because you got, I want to say, 4 region games in a row.
Yes, sir.
Isn't that right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
But look, we want to invite all the Eagle faithful to go to Clayton Friday night against Barber County, and looking for a big win. And so, hey, good luck.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming.
Yes, sir.
Josh Malloy here, Mitchell Chrysler Dodge Ram, and I'm calling an all-out blitz on all of our pre-owned inventory. This month, every pre-owned vehicle will be discounted.
You can punch your old ride and choose from our great selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs.
Even if your credit's been sacked,
we'll tackle the banks to get you approved.
Let our Solution Squad show you why we're Enterprise's favorite dealer.
Whether it's new or pre-owned, we've got you covered at Plaza Drive Enterprise or online at MitchellChryslerDodgeRam.com.
We know life can be fun and exciting, but also sometimes challenging. With always being on the go, it can be tough to take care of the big little things, like getting a loan for a more reliable car. Sometimes you just need some help that works with you on your terms. And that's exactly what you get with Max Credit Union. With convenient tools like loan updates right to your phone and personal service, you can get more done in less time. And that is something to cheer about.
In the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle? We've got what you're looking for.
So come see us at Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Troy, and you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC.
Josh Malloy here, Mitchell Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and I'm calling an all-out blitz on all of our pre-owned inventory. This month, every pre-owned vehicle will be discounted.
You can punch your old ride and choose from our great selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs.
Even if your credit's been sacked,
We'll tackle the banks to get you approved.
let our Solution Squad show you why we're Enterprise's favorite dealer.
Whether it's new or pre-owned, we've got you covered at Plaza Drive Enterprise or online at MitchellChrysler-DodgeRam.com.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Are you ready?
Sometimes more is more. And with Max Checking, I enjoy more with perks, like access to my paychecks 2 days early, free overdraft protection, earning rewards everywhere I spend, and more of everything that makes life a little sweeter. You can enjoy more too with Max Credit Union.
Wiley Sanders Truck Line, the place that puts God and family first. How long you been driving for Wiley Sanders?
7 years.
How long you been driving for Wiley?
6 years.
How many miles you get a week?
2,500.
Wow, how many miles you get a week?
2,700.
Are you in the 401k?
Yes, sir.
Matching at 4%?
Yes.
Wow, Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, Troy, Alabama. Are y'all happy?
Oh, very happy.
Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, Troy, Alabama. Come drive for the best today. Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, Troy, Alabama.
Our wide selection of pre-owned vehicles looks so good, you'll think they're new.
So take the short drive to Bill Jackson Ford in Troy, where you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
Bill Jackson Ford, Troy, Alabama.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm working underneath this truck.
Oh man, can you work on diesel trucks?
No, I can't.
Do you know that Wiley Sanders will train you to work on diesel trucks?
Really?
In a shop.
In a shop?
A shop! My man, you made it.
Yes, sir, I did.
You came to Wiley Sanders to a shop. How you like teaching this young man?
I enjoy helping these guys be successful.
So if they can work on a little truck, you can teach them how to work on a big truck.
Yes, sir, we sure can.
Come to Wiley Sanders Truck Line where we'll teach you how to work on a big truck.
We're blowing away high prices. Use Nissan, Honda, Toyota, Chevy, Ford. We got them. And they're all marked down. Over 120 to choose from. Bring home $350 a week and you can be approved. Shop PremierTroy.com or come see us. Nobody beats a Premier deal.
Hey, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pike Liberal Arts Patriots Coaches Show. I'm David Helms, your host, and in the studio with me is interim coach Charlie Schofield. Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Good to be here.
Good. We're proud to have you. Coach, I'm going to say a tough opponent. That probably is putting it mildly. But you have to go up against the number one team in 4A last week, the Catholic of Montgomery. Came up on the short end of a 56-0 score. But, Coach, I was talking to somebody else this week. Everybody that plays Catholic, I mean, they are a machine. Mm-hmm. And but anyway, who played hard for you Friday night?
Well, we had a few guys, and I'll be honest with you, that 4A team could put it on most of the teams in this county.
I agree.
But I was really proud of the way our kids played. We left 14 points off the board, and we were inside the 7 on the 3rd down. If we weren't going to convert, we were going to kick a field goal. We had opportunity to put points on the board. Ball got batted up on the 7-yard line going in, and it got intercepted, of course. But we had some standout players. One of our junior linebackers, John Lott, had an interception, and he had 6 tackles in the game.
Okay.
So he was impressive. And then Casey Bradford, of course, our leader on both sides of the ball, he had 7 tackles as well. So we gave them all they wanted. They scored late on us to take it back over 50, but we had chances. So I was proud. I was proud of how we played Friday night, even though the score isn't reflective of what we would want. But
Well, I tell you what, when you play a team like Catholic, okay, which y'all are like a 2A school playing not just a 4A school, but the #1 team in the state who may contend for the state championship this year. But, sounds like you guys went out there and, like you said, gave them all they wanted.
That's right.
So I'm sure Catholic, they probably like, whoa, we're in for a fight.
Well, it shocked me when they were up 20 points and then kicked an onside kick.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
At that point, it was
they didn't want the score to be close.
Right.
Yeah.
It was upsetting to see from a coach's perspective, but also it told me, okay, they didn't think we were going to be in this game at all.
Right.
And that spoke volumes to what our kids came out and did that night.
Right.
We were worried about the injuries that we had from the past week, but one of the wins for us coming from that Catholic game is we had very mild injuries, so we should be pretty much full go this week.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure it was a physical game.
Oh yeah.
Of course, Jeremiah Cobb, their running back, is an Auburn commit.
That's right.
And I don't know a lot of the other players, but you mentioned, I was going to ask you about the scoring opportunities because I did read about late in the half. I don't know if you had an interception. Well, you just said that. You were on the goal line going in.
Third and 7 from the 7.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you were down there again, didn't you say?
Yep.
Yeah.
We had opportunities, but we just left points off the board, unfortunately.
Well, and I tell you, I was going to ask you about the takeaways from the game, but obviously you just mentioned that. To compete against that level of competition.
That's right.
Was a win in itself.
The biggest surprise for me is that injuries we were concerned about, but Cobb went down late in the second quarter. He didn't come back in the game, and then I would say, probably their number 2 receiver, but he's going to go play Division I football somewhere. Mm-hmm. Casey broke up a big play, and which they ended up giving him a completed pass, but there's no way he caught that ball. And I went into midfield and I argued it because it was a bang play, but it was an impressive play. It wasn't malicious. It was just a good, clean football play.
Right.
And again, that kid hard late to get up.
Right.
And we're not proud of hurting anybody or anything like that, but I was just surprised.
Yeah.
In that aspect that it wasn't our kids that we were having to come get, so.
Well, I tell you, Coach, a game like that where it's a physical game,
right?
And apparently your kids obviously were up for the challenge, but when you match that physicality, I mean, that's where you don't worry about the injuries. Now, if you go in there a little timid, that's when you can get hurt. But if you match it like y'all did. But, it sounds like that they weren't counting on the fight they got.
Well, I told the team before we went out there, I said, you're going to look across the field tonight, and there's going to be 75 men across the field from you.
Right.
I said, but we're going to put 11 on the field, and they're going to put 11 on the field, and you're going to go play football, and that's what we did. So I was proud of them.
Yeah. Well, I know you're proud of the effort. Hey, did you have anybody from step up that, I'm not saying that you weren't counting on, but did you have anybody step up that just kind of, surprised you in a good way? Or
well, I mean, we've got our consistent guys, and Davis Kilcrease, our senior linebacker and running back, he was able to help us control the clock on the offensive side of the ball. I think he rushed for over 50 yards, which I know is not outstanding, and
against
not
Catholic is pretty
but
good.
Against Catholic is, again, that defense, they're number one for a reason,
right.
and they bring it. But he played a good game, and I think he had 5 tackles, and then another senior linebacker that we're excited about, Cade Renfro, had 8 tackles.
Right.
So
what grade
that
is
was
he
a
in?
good story. He's a senior.
Is he?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
So
does Cade do your kicking also, or did you tell me that?
He is. He's our kicker, and then Jackson Booth played another good game at defensive back, and he had some great punts. And one of his punts is the reason we were down in our red zone, because he kicked about a 50-yard punt. It got muffed, and we picked it up.
I got you.
Down in the red zone. So he had another good game for us as well.
Yeah. Well, Coach, sounds like something you can build on this week.
That's
Is
right.
any particular area of focus this week in practice other than the fundamentals?
Yeah. So we've been diagnosing their sets. They have about 14 different sets they run in their offense. They like to bring pressure, so that's something we focused on in our reps in offense.
Right.
Just picking up pressure from the running back perspective,
right.
and also our quarterbacks just working on feeling the pressure and getting the ball off in time.
Right.
So that's something we really harped on this week.
Well, Coach, let's mention the schedule change, and in fact, we've got, I guess, 2 schedule changes. But this week, you're going to travel to Danville, Alabama.
Yes, sir.
And take on the Hawks, which they play in Class 3A Region 7, and right now they're 1-4 overall. They defeated Susan Moore in overtime, and like I said, they're 1-4 right now. But what can we expect from them?
Like I said, they do have all those offensive sets. They run a lot of wing T stuff.
Right.
They have wide receiver that is potentially dangerous. They really like, he's number 2 is who they want to get the ball to.
Gotcha.
No question about it. And he's also their punter, so that we've been focusing on that as well.
Yeah, that can create a problem.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But they've got some big guys on the line. It's a 3A school for a reason. They got some beef up front, but our kids are excited because this team is the first team that we've played that their players also have to play both ways.
Right.
It's not a whole new set of kids that they're going up against offense and defense.
Right.
So we're excited to see where we stack up, because when we go to 2A, not next year but the next, we're going to be playing teams that are similar caliber to who we're going up against this week.
Right.
So I think these seniors are ready to make a statement.
Yeah.
So
be a good gauge,
right?
Like I said, on what you can do.
That's
with
right.
That kind of competition. That's right. But well, Coach, I think you've already said this, but I will ask you the key. Give me 2 or 3 keys to victory.
Well, I think one is going to be our passing game. I kind of mentioned that. Just scoring points in general is going to be huge for us, because it's been a few weeks since we put points on the board, and I think once we get a taste of that, it's going to be contagious, and it's going to be that's going to be something huge for us this week.
Right.
And then, how do we handle the motion defensively? They run a lot of motion stuff on offense.
Right.
I think that's going to be key for us. Not getting fooled by everything in the backfield.
Right.
Focus on your keys, and then just play ball. So I think that's going to be the main 3 for us this week.
Well, that'll give us something to kind of, I guess, key on as the game goes on. But and it is Friday night.
Yes, sir.
7
It is
o'clock.
Friday.
Well, Coach, it's a pretty good road trip. You leaving that morning?
That's right. Yeah, we're gonna head out from Troy about 10:30, and we're not able to go to the playoffs this year, so we had talked to a mutual contact at Hoover High School. We're gonna stop there and do a walkthrough, kind of break the trip up, and we'll have pregame meal in Hoover, and then we'll head on to the school from there. So. I think that'll be good for the kids, and they're excited about that too.
That's great. Well, Coach, hey, let me thank you again for what you do, and you and your staff. It sounds like I said, you played a tough game last week, but you guys responded, which is a positive.
Yes, sir.
And they're gonna carry that confidence into this week. I will tell you this: I didn't listen to the Coaches Connection much. But I was listening to it a little bit on the way up here, and several of those panelists say Pike Live's going to win. Now that means nothing,
right?
But I'm going to tell you, it's crazy, as silly as it sounds. It's a confidence boost to say, look, we're finally playing competition similar to us.
Yes,
so let's see how we stack up, as you said.
That's right. That's right.
So hey. Best of luck to you.
I appreciate it.
I hope we talk next week with a big win.
Yes, sir. We're going to give them everything we got.
And you know what? I believe that.
Yes, sir.
Your kids, they'll definitely go play hard. I know they will.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all.
Where should you go to find the best deals on a vehicle? Anywhere, anytime? PremierTroy.com. Shop our huge selection. PremierTroy.com. Pick your next vehicle. Pick your payment. Yes. Shop, save, and buy. PremierTroy.com. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
Josh Malloy here, Mitchell Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and I'm calling an all-out blitz on all of our pre-owned inventory. This month, every pre-owned vehicle will be discounted.
You can punch your old Ram and choose from our great selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs.
Even if your credit's been sacked,
we'll tackle the banks to get you approved.
Let our Solution Squad show you why we're Enterprise's favorite dealer.
Whether it's new or pre-owned, we've got you covered at Plaza Drive Enterprise or online at MitchellChrysler.com.
Wiley Sanders Truck Line, where we put God and family first. We go to Illinois,
Indiana,
North Carolina, South Carolina,
Ohio, Arkansas.
We're looking for good in-dump drivers. That's right, Wiley Sanders Truck Line. 401k, Blue Cross Blue Shield, dental plan. Hey, these wheels roll, you make money. If you're not driving one of them, you're driving at the wrong place. Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, Troy, Alabama. Fellas, where we go?
Indiana,
North Carolina, and South Carolina,
Ohio, and Arkansas.
Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, Troy, Alabama.
Josh Malloy here, Mitchell Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and I'm calling an all-out blitz on all of our pre-owned inventory. This month, every pre-owned vehicle will be discounted.
You can punch your old Ram and choose from our great selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs.
even if your credit's been sacked,
we'll tackle the banks to get you approved.
Let our Solution Squad show you why we're Enterprise's favorite dealer.
Whether it's new or pre-owned, we've got you covered at Plaza Drive Enterprise or online at MitchellChrysler.com. Josh Malloy here, Mitchell Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and I'm calling an all-out blitz on all of our pre-owned inventory. This month, every pre-owned vehicle will be discounted.
You can punch your old Ram and choose from our great selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs.
Even if your credit's been sacked,
we'll tackle the banks to get you approved.
Let our Solution Squad show you why we're Enterprise's favorite dealer.
Whether it's new or pre-owned, we've got you covered at Plaza Drive Enterprise or online at MitchellChrysler.com.
We know life can be fun and exciting, but also sometimes challenging. With always being on the go, it can be tough to take care of the big little things, like getting a loan for a more reliable car. Sometimes you just need some help that works with you on your terms. And that's exactly what you get with Max Credit Union. With convenient tools like loan updates right to your phone and personal service, you can get more done in less time. And that is something to cheer about.
In the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle? We've got what you're looking for.
So come see us at Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Troy, and you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC.
Josh Malloy here, Mitchell Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and I'm calling an all-out blitz on all of our pre-owned inventory. This month, every pre-owned vehicle will be discounted.
You can punch your old ride and choose from our great selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs.
Even if your credit's been sacked,
We'll tackle the banks to get you approved.
let our Solution Squad show you why we're Enterprise's favorite dealer.
Whether it's new or pre-owned, we've got you covered at Plaza Drive Enterprise or online at MitchellChryslerDodgeRam.com.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Are you ready?
Sometimes more is more. And with Max Checking, I enjoy more with perks, like access to my paychecks 2 days early, free overdraft protection, earning rewards everywhere I spend, and more of everything that makes life a little sweeter. You can enjoy more too with Max Credit Union.
Wiley Sanders Truck Line, the place that puts God and family first. How long you been driving for Wiley Sanders?
7 years.
How long you been driving for Wiley?
6 years.
How many miles you get a week?
2,500.
Wow, how many miles you get a week?
2,700.
Are you in the 401k?
Yes, sir.
Matching at 4%?
Yes.
Wow, Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, Troy, Alabama. Are y'all happy?
Oh, very happy.
Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, Troy, Alabama. Come drive for the best today. Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, Troy, Alabama.
Our wide selection of pre-owned vehicles looks so good, you'll think they're new.
So take the short drive to Bill Jackson Ford in Troy, where you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
Bill Jackson Ford, Troy, Alabama.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm working underneath this truck.
Oh man, can you work on diesel trucks?
No, I can't.
Do you know that Wiley Sanders will train you to work on diesel trucks?
Really?
In a shop.
In a shop?
A shop. My man, you made it.
Yes, sir, I did.
You came to Wiley Sanders to a shop. How you like teaching this young man?
I enjoy helping these guys be successful.
So if they can work on a little truck, you can teach them how to work on a big truck.
Yes, sir, we sure can.
Come to Wiley Sanders Truck Line where we'll teach you how to work on a big truck.
We're blowing away high prices. Use Nissan, Honda, Toyota, Chevy, Ford. We got them. And they're all marked down. Over 120 to choose from. Bring home $350 a week and you can be approved. Shop PremierTroy.com or come see us. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody. Where should you go to find the best deals on a vehicle? Anywhere, anytime? PremierTroy.com. Shop our huge selection. PremierTroy.com. Pick your next vehicle. Pick your payment. Yes. Shop, save, and buy. PremierTroy.com. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
Josh Malloy here, Mitchell Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and I'm calling an all-out blitz on all of our pre-owned inventory. This month, every pre-owned vehicle will be discounted.
You can punch your old ride and choose from our great selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs.
Even if your credit's been sacked,
We'll tackle the banks to get you approved.
let our Solution Squad show you why we're Enterprise's favorite dealer.
Whether it's new or pre-owned, we've got you covered at Plaza Drive Enterprise or online at MitchellChryslerDodgeRam.com.
Wiley Sanders Truck Line where we put God and family first. We go to Illinois,
Indiana,
North Carolina, South Carolina,
Ohio, Arkansas.
We're looking for good in-dump drivers. That's right, Wiley Sanders Truck Line. 401k, Blue Cross Blue Shield, dental plan. Hey, these wheels roll, you make money. If you're not driving one of them, you're driving at the wrong place. Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, Troy, Alabama. Fellas, where we go?
Indiana,
North Carolina, and South Carolina.
Ohio and Arkansas.
Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, Troy, Alabama.
Josh.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pike County High Bulldog Coaches Show. I'm your host, David Helms, and with me in the studio is the victorious head coach of the Pike County Bulldogs. Welcome, Coach.
Thank you.
Good to
be
see
here,
you, man.
Good to see you as well.
Glad to have you. Coach, you had a big non-region win over Headland Friday night by a score of 18-13. You had to go on the road, and Headland is a 5A school, and but you had a big win, and I know that's a confidence builder when you go on the road and beat a 5A school.
Yes, any win's a big win to me at this point. But yeah, we played well. We played well defensively. We did bend, but we didn't break. We had a few turnovers in key situations that really helped us out. And so, the kids, like I said, we played 4 quarters all year. And I think we know how to play 4 quarters because we've had to.
Right.
And the kids, they fight and they fight. And we just came out on the right end of the scoreboard this time, on the right end.
Right. Well, Coach, that brings your record to 3-2, and you're 2-2 in the region. And it sounds like, and I'm going to let you elaborate on it, but special teams won the game for you, right?
Special teams has been very big for us this year. But actually, this was probably one of the worst special team nights we had in terms of punting and a couple of other things. We were just off from what we had been doing.
Right.
But, we got there, the ball bounced our way, got a little lucky on a little punt return. It was the craziest thing I ever seen. But I guess just the way it happened, it was kind of unbelievable.
Right.
One of the kids caught the ball. He really should have been getting away from the ball, but it kind of bounced back on him. He caught it and just stood still, and everybody kind of ran up to him as if he made a fair catch. He was going in the wrong direction, and he looked up and he just pitched it to the end while everybody was standing around.
Right.
That's the craziest thing I ever seen. But
Ian Foster then returned it for a touchdown.
Returned it for a touchdown.
Yeah, and I want to say that was a 60-yard punt return.
Something I would say somewhere around that way.
So your player feels it, and then
going backwards. Yeah, he was running down blocking right, and then the ball bounced.
Right.
And it kind of just bounced to him. He just caught it and froze as if he made a fair catch.
Right. I got you.
I don't know what Hitman players were.
Well, you know what? Hey, give him credit and Ian Foster credit for, I guess, making a play.
Yeah, they were aware. They were aware of the situation.
Right. Exactly.
And
yeah.
Hey, man, it was a good fortune for us, I would say. Just kind of bounced our way that time, and Ian returned another kickoff for a touchdown.
Right.
And he's just doing good when it comes to returns. He's just a solid player.
Right.
But overall, defensively, I thought we played very well. We got ourselves out of a couple of bad situations. We got a couple of turnovers in the red zone that were big.
Right.
Markellis Hobby picked the ball off early in the half when they were driving and returned it all the way back, to their red zone, and that put us in a good position. Right. But we missed a couple of field goals, and we missed the extra point, and that's something we've been doing well lately.
Right.
But we did have a new kicker, another kicker in, and it was kind of his first game, and I felt like he was probably a little nervous.
Right.
But we've been working on that this week with both of those guys, putting them in little pressure situations, kicking out the end zone, those type of things, and they seem to be responding very well right now.
Right. So the score 18-13. So you didn't get an extra point then, right? You didn't convert on an extra point.
No, we didn't.
Okay.
We did not.
Yeah.
Well,
Coach, we mentioned Ian Foster had a kickoff return. I want to say 90 yards is what
it was.
The stats I got.
About 90 yards.
And and listen, I mean, he's had several of those this year.
He's a big play guy.
He's tough to bring down in open field.
He's a big play guy, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
If you're watching the game, you see him make plays. They're spectacular, and he does some things that you don't expect. But he's doing it, and I want him to continue doing it.
Right. Well, Coach, I have Nemo Williams also scored on a 10-yard touchdown run. Is he? I'm trying to remember if we've mentioned him much in the last couple of weeks. Is he your go-to running back? Or
we have 2 running backs. He's more of a bigger back, power back.
Gotcha.
And then Zay Carlisle is more of our scat back, sticking in, get outside, so it's 2 different styles of running.
Right.
Which I think really works for us.
Right.
You think he's bottled up and he'll pop outside, and Nemo's a bigger back. He's just downhill.
Right.
He's about 215, 220 pounds, so
right.
He's a little tougher to bring down.
I guess he is. Was the score? Were y'all behind 13-12 when you had the big, I guess the big punt return?
Yes.
Okay. What time of the game was it when you went ahead? Was it like it was fourth quarter, right?
Right, and it was fourth quarter, late in the game, with about maybe 2-3 minutes left in the game, and they kind of start driving. They got a good little drive going.
Right.
We got them in third down on 2 or 3 occasions. We had a few penalties, things that we got to continue to clean up and put them in a good situation. But we end up making a big stop and a big play there on a couple of plays, and we were able to get the ball back and run out the clock.
Right. Well, Coach, you mentioned your defense played well. Who are some players we need to mention that played well on defense?
Well, I thought Keith Williams played well, Markellis Hobley, Quintavious Carter, Virgil Thompson played well. Secondary-wise, I thought our corners did a great job. I just think it was an overall good defensive performance. They all played well. They came together, and they did bend, but when it was time to step up, they all came together as a unit and made plays.
Right. Well, I think you mentioned Markellis Hobley had an interception.
He did.
And then I have Quay Carter and is it Calvin Marshall? Both had fumble recoveries, I
Correct.
believe. Okay.
They were big fumble recoveries too.
Right. So, Coach, again, congratulations on the win.
Actually, it was Q, and I think maybe Jaquan Sweeney also recovered one. That was big.
Okay. So you did some of those turnovers lead to points? Or well, let me take it back. You had the 2 returns, the punt and the kickoff return, but when
one of those turnovers did lead to a touchdown,
which is always good. Well, Coach, again, a big win over Headland, 5A school, 18-13. That brings your record, as I said, 3-2. Now this week, let's kind of flip the page here. You're gonna travel to New Brockton, the Gamecocks, and you're gonna begin a 4-game region stretch. So your last 4 games are all region games.
Right.
And it starts this week, like I said, in New Brockton. Now, their record, they're 0-5, and y'all do have a common opponent. They actually lost to Opp. I want to say 41-20.
That was early in the year.
And then y'all lost 28-27 to Opp, which was earlier also. But let me say this: a winless team can be super dangerous.
If you underestimate any opponent,
right?
And I always like to tell a team, like I told them today, if you underestimate a man, it only takes one punch to get knocked out.
Right.
And those are some of my common fears when it comes to playing teams like this after a big win.
Right.
And that's something we addressed and something we talked about. And it's always about how you respond in the next game.
Right.
Because the game before is over. It's about the game you're playing at this time.
Right.
So hopefully we'll come out and we're focused and can play our game, is what I like to say. You know, if you respect every opponent as if they're the top team or a champion, then you have to play to your level. But if you don't, then you're always going to play down, and then when you play down, there's always the opportunity that you'll get beat.
Right. Well, Coach, what can we expect from New Brockton in offensively, defensively, kicking game? What's their?
They run a lot of 20 personnel, 2 back sets, no tight ends. They run some spread. They like to throw it around. The quarterback has a strong arm. They have 2 receivers that I thought were pretty good. The quarterback will run it a lot. So they have a big offensive line. A couple of kids up there, maybe 300 pounds plus.
Wow.
They seem to be aggressive. To me, they're 0-5, but it's like they're a young team that's learning. Pretty much like we were early.
Right.
They get better and better every week.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you had to list 2 or 3 keys to victory, again, you're going to be on the road, you're in New Brockton, what might those keys be?
Well, number one, you always have to protect the ball. That's number one. No turnovers, minimize your penalties, and we have to tackle well. We have to tackle well, and we have to be consistent and not make a lot of mistakes. offensively and defensively. And if we can continue to get the special teams back on track, I think that'll help. So, you know, those are the phases of the game you have to win. Right. You at least want to win 2 out of the 3 phases, which would be offense, defense, special teams.
Right.
But most importantly for us, I just think we have to come out and start fast. Every game we start slow. Second half we come out and we play a lot better.
Right.
So if we can just put together 2 halves, you know, and play well first half, second half, that would be the key for us.
Right. Well, Coach, when you're on the road and you're playing a team that hasn't won a game, I'm sure starting fast is a big key, because you obviously don't want to give them any confidence. you know what I'm saying? Because a turnover here and there early in the game, you know, they score something, they all of a sudden say, hey, we can win this game. You got the momentum, and so I'm sure you want to try to put that fire out right away if you can.
Right.
Well, Coach, have you had a JV game lately?
We played last night.
Okay.
We played last night. We're 3-0 on the JV group, which is good.
Yeah.
Got a good group of young kids I really like. They're funny too.
Yeah.
Most importantly, they're friends and they play well together, and that's what I like.
They're having fun.
Yeah, they're having fun.
Yeah. Who'd you play?
We played Bullock County last night.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Coach, we got a couple of minutes before we close. You want to mention a couple of your staff members? I mean, I know you're proud of your staff.
Sure. You know, our offensive coordinator is Coach Sumter, and he's coming in first year, and you know, we're in a spread, not going to the huddle. We're able to communicate, and we can throw the ball around a little bit. And you know, he's new. He came out of Mobile, and he's learning the kids now and the talent and who can do what, like we both are. You know, we're starting to figure out how to, you know, do things that will benefit our athletes.
Right.
Offensive line, we have Coach McCullough, who came in from Pike Lib. He's doing a great job. Coach Dennison, they're both doing well on the offensive line. A lot of young guys up there, and we got some new guys coming in, and I think they're doing a good job of getting those guys better.
Right.
Coach Janaski Fleming coaches the wide receivers. He's doing a good job. You know, those guys are making plays.
Yeah.
We have Coach Carter also on that side of the ball that's helping out and doing a great job, and you know, working with the program. Defensively, Coach Griffin, and he's definitely getting the defensive line a lot better. He and Coach Lee, they both work with him.
Right.
They're starting to, you know, learn what to do and how to do it, and becoming a little more aggressive, a lot more aggressive, to be honest with you, because they've played a lot better in the last couple of games. Linebacker coach, we have a young coach, Coach Pritchard, who was from Troy. He was grad assistant there, and he's doing a great job of teaching the backers, the inside backers, you know, how to do things. I saw him do something phenomenal in practice the other day. One of the kids was coming on a rush, and how he dipped the shoulder and ripped. And I thought I can attribute that to Coach Pritchard. I think he's doing a good job of working with them. Coach Bryant works with the outside linebackers, and he's doing a great job of getting those guys to understand what we need and what we're doing. And we also have a lot of young kids that they're developing in that area.
Right.
We have Coach Doug Holland and Coach Aaron Young, who coach the secondary, and you know, we have some key. We even have a freshman back there, and they're starting to grow and learn and playing a lot faster.
Right.
So you know, those guys are doing a great job. They come in and they work hard and they work with the kids, and you know, it's just an overall improvement.
Right. Well, listen, I hate to put you on the spot, but you did beautifully. I don't know how you remember all them guys without a list in front of you.
Well, we work together every day.
But you nailed it. That's
We're around each other all the time.
That's right. But you know what? One thing you said a few minutes ago about your JV team, boy, it's a blessing when you see them having fun. And like you said, they're a little funny group.
Oh, they are.
They're close. But that just gives it so much more meaning as a coach, as a player, you know, when you can do that.
Well, the thing about that is, you know? When I want them to be quiet and sit down, they're always moving. But I tell them, boy, you guys get on my nerves, but I love you.
Yeah.
But as soon as you get them on the field,
hey,
they're ready to go.
Ball player, that's right. Yeah. Well, Coach, we want to invite all the Bulldog faithful to go to New Brockton Friday night.
Thursday. We actually play Thursday night. Tomorrow night. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Game
so
has been
I'm
moved.
glad you told me that. So you're going to Coffee County Thursday night, tomorrow night. And I know you'll have a big crowd going down. New Brockton always fills the stand, so I'm sure it'll be a good atmosphere for a ball game. And I'm glad you told me. I did not know it was Thursday night.
Oh yeah.
But listen, thank you for all you do. I appreciate you mentioning all your coaches. Sound like you got a good group. Y'all got this thing going in the right direction. We wish you all the luck this week.
And I have to mention one guy
Yes,
that I did not talk about, and that would be Mr. Johnny Bulldog Doster, who is our film guy.
Okay.
And like I tell Johnny all the time, hey, you're the most important guy on the team. Because he films practices and games, and he started out, was his first year. He's doing a phenomenal job. I mean, he's one of the best film guys, man. He's getting all the action.
Now, is this Bulldog Johnny?
Bulldog Johnny.
Man, everybody knows Bulldog Johnny.
Bulldog Johnny's doing a great job. Coach Bulldog Johnny.
And might be your #1 fan.
Yeah, Coach Bulldog Johnny. I have to make sure I call Coach Bulldog Johnny.
I got you.
But he's doing an awesome job, and he's out all the practices. He's filming the practices. He's helping get the clock out and do different things, and and Johnny likes to talk too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he loves to talk. He likes to talk about ball and the past, and his father's very knowledgeable. His father even told me he remember when I played, and I was like, that's got to be a long time ago. But he comes from a good family, and they're very supportive. I would consider them to be some of the #1 fans.
Sure.
They've been around for a while. Yeah. So we just love the family atmosphere that the coaching staff and we're trying to create with the players, and and we're trying to get the community more involved, and we're just looking to keep doing good things right now at Pike County.
Well, Coach, you got a lot of pride in that program, and people like you're talking about. He's one of many, but just to want to be a part of it, and you've built that in the short time you've been there, and I think you're on your way to getting it back like you remember it being. But I do appreciate you. I know your community appreciates you, and I know your players do too. So thank you so much for coming.
Appreciate it. Happy to be here.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Josh Malloy here, Mitchell Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and I'm calling an all-out blitz on all of our pre-owned inventory. This month, every pre-owned vehicle will be discounted.
You can punch your old ride and choose from our great selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs.
Even if your credit's been sacked,
we'll tackle the banks to get you approved.
Let our Solution Squad show you why we're Enterprise's favorite dealer.
Whether it's new or pre-owned, we've got you covered at Plaza Drive Enterprise or online at MitchellChryslerDodgeJeepRam.com. Josh Malloy here, Mitchell Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and I'm calling an all-out blitz on all of our pre-owned inventory. This month, every pre-owned vehicle will be discounted.
You can punch your old ride and choose from our great selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs.
Even if your credit's been sacked,
we'll tackle the banks to get you approved.
Let our Solution Squad show you why we're Enterprise's favorite dealer.
Whether it's new or pre-owned, we've got you covered at Plaza Drive Enterprise or online at MitchellChryslerDodgeJeepRam.com.
We know life can be fun and exciting, but also sometimes challenging. With always being on the go, it can be tough to take care of the big little things, like getting a loan for a more reliable car. Sometimes you just need some help that works with you on your terms. And that's exactly what you get with Max Credit Union. With convenient tools like loan updates right to your phone and personal service, you can get more done in less time. And that is something to cheer about.
In the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle? We've got what you're looking for.
So come see us at Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Troy, and you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC.
Josh Malloy here, Mitchell Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and I'm calling an all-out blitz on all of our pre-owned inventory. This month, every pre-owned vehicle will be discounted.
You can punch your old ride and choose from our great selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs.
Even if your credit's been sacked,
we'll tackle the banks to get you approved.
Let our Solution Squad show you why we're Enterprise's favorite dealer.
Whether it's new or pre-owned, we've got you covered at Plaza Drive Enterprise or online at MitchellChryslerDodgeJeepRam.com.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Are you ready?
Sometimes more is more. And with Max Checking, I enjoy more with perks, like access to my paychecks 2 days early, free overdraft protection, earning rewards everywhere I spend, and more of everything that makes life a little sweeter. You can enjoy more too with Max Credit Union.
Wiley Sanders Truck Line.
Hey, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Brantley Bulldog Coaches Show. I'm your host, David Helms, and with me via Zoom is Coach Roland Jones, the head coach of the Brantley Bulldogs. And, Coach, you doing all right this evening?
Yes, sir. What about yourself, Mr. Stanley?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I appreciate you joining us. And, Coach, man, I don't even know how to describe that game last week. Yeah, it was a knockdown drag out between you and Highland Home, and you came up 1 point short, and your record is now 4-2, and you're 3-1 in region play. But I actually had a chance to listen to that game, and I'm gonna tell you, back and forth, physical game. Man, both teams are battle tested without a doubt. But it was a heck of a game.
Yeah, it was, David. Highland Home's got some great athletes, and we broke down film as a coaching staff and put together a plan that I thought was good. We still got ways to go. We got a lot of penalties. Matter of fact, we had 22 penalties in that game and had 2 touchdowns all back, but that's part of football. We've got to grow up. We've got to work on those things, and it should help us down the line. We've had 2 really big things, Elba and Highland Home, in both games. We've had a lot of penalties, so we got to work on those things. We've got a great week of practice, and we got to work on those things to get better and win a championship. You've got to be disciplined, and we got things to work on. So we went back to work, but it was a great football game. 2 ranked teams playing, and I don't take anything away from Highland Home. They had a great plan, and we outrushed them, we outthrew them, we done everything out better than them except the scoreboard. We even had more penalties than them, like I talked about earlier. But that's part of it. That's why you play the game. Jaden Park, quarterback, who was also our kicker, got hurt. Hurt his ankle, and it's his right ankle, so I thought on the penalty we should go for 2. But, that's part of a great football game, and great one for people to watch.
Oh, Coach, I thoroughly enjoyed listening to it, and then actually had the opportunity to watch the replay some last night, and, it was a great game. But, I was sitting there thinking, field position, penalties, missed opportunities. There were momentum swings during the game. Of course, the turnovers played a big factor, and just had a little bit of all that. But the first series, both teams went 3 and out, and I said, well, the defense have shown up tonight. But actually, Coach, I know Highland went up 7-0, and then y'all responded. I want to say. On 4th down, maybe out of the Wildcat, was it Keldrick Brown, I believe, scored, and made it 7-7. But then I thought the momentum shifted a little bit. They had that big kick return against you, and went up 14-7. But then y'all tied up, I think, again on Keldrick Brown, another touchdown. So at the half, it's deadlocked, and then the rain came, and it seemed like the second half, did the rain affect you very much?
No, I don't think so. We came out, we scored 2 touchdowns the third quarter and went up 27-14 starting the fourth, and and then we held them. They punted to us, and our running back got stripped, the ball straight to the defensive line, and he ran it in. So, and they got the momentum there, and that was the turning point of the game. But when you play a good football team, you can't make mistakes like that, and we're gonna learn from it.
Yeah, and Coach, I did see the 2 touchdowns you mentioned that got called back because of penalties, and then I guess Jaden Parks, I want to say, threw a pass to Bush for the touchdown, and that was the 21-14, and then I guess you had a long pass from Jaden Parks to, I guess, is that his brother?
It is his older brother, Jordan.
Right, and so that you went up 27-14, and then, as you said, that crazy play where the ball gets stripped definitely was a key part of the game. But anyway, I know I feel what you're saying about the penalties and stuff. When that stuff kind of snowballs on you, but I really it was a great game, and I know both teams are going to benefit from it. I know obviously y'all would have loved to have won the game and really played well enough to win it, but those things go against you sometimes, and it's hard to control those things. But I had Jaden Parks down for 195 yards passing with 2 touchdowns, and Keldrick Brown 2 rushing touchdowns. Jordan Parks, of course, we just mentioned, on a 46-yard touchdown reception. And, Coach, I thought it showed a lot of guts on your quarterback's part because he was limping pretty good.
It was, and he stepped in and did a great job. I mean, he could have very easily came out. He had a high ankle sprain and, doubtful for this week. We're taking it day to day. But he did come back and tried to lead us down on a drive, and we just came up a little short. But, we're going to get better from games like this, and like I said, we've had a great week of practice, and you got to learn from your mistakes. You learn from your mistakes. You got to, the sky's the limit, and that's what it is with this team. We got to learn, and we got to grow, and we'll get better and better.
Right. Well, Coach, I had Elijah McGee had 7 tackles. Does he play linebacker, or where does he play?
He plays nose guard.
Okay. Did you have anybody else that you wanted to mention on defensive side of the ball?
Well, as a whole, our whole defense played well. There was no one individual that stood out. Our defense played really well. Like I said, they run a fumble back for a touchdown, run a kick back for a touchdown, had 2 long passes, and that was it. At the end of the game, they did have about a 6-minute drive to keep the ball from us and run the clock out. But, that's part of it when you play a good football team.
Right. Well, you had certainly a playoff atmosphere Friday night. Brantley and Highland, y'all always have good games. But and I was going to ask you, Coach, I think you've already answered, some takeaways from the game, but you've already mentioned all that. So, as you said, moving forward, obviously you just have to learn from it and get better, which I'm sure y'all worked on that this week in practice. Well, Coach, let's flip the page a minute. It doesn't get any easier. You got Georgiana this week, but you do have them at home, and they're undefeated.
They are. They're a good football team. Go 6-0. Coach Best over there is doing a great job. He's got a lot more kids out in it last year. A lot of team speed, good quarterback, good running back. It's going to be a tough challenge for us.
Right, and Coach, y'all have had a lot of knockdown, drag-out games over the past years for sure. And I see, Coach, you got some common opponents. Y'all both beat McKenzie, and you both defeated Kinston, and then you both defeated Houston County. So you got those 3 common opponents, which doesn't really mean a whole lot, obviously, until the game, in the game itself. But, Coach, what can we expect from Georgiana, maybe player-wise?
Well, they run the spread, and like I said, speed. They got tremendous speed, and they throw the deep ball a lot. but they will be in the spread. Defensively, they run a 3-3 stack, bring backers nearly every play, got a backer coming from somewhere. So we got to try to utilize our offensive skills to slow down the speed, and defensively, we just got to be in the right place and do the right thing we've been taught this week.
Right. Well, Coach, I think you just answered my other question. If you had to pick, maybe one or two, possibly three keys to a Brantley victory, what would they be?
Well, the most important thing is we got to be disciplined. We've got to go out and not have all the penalties. We got to do the right things and do what we've been working on all week in practice, and then we got to execute what we worked on and be where we're supposed to be when we're supposed to be there, and that should carry us to a chance to football game if we execute in all those areas. Along with our special teams, we've got to do better in special teams. If we've been working on that all week, we practiced it very, very a lot. So, we just got to get better in each and every aspect of the game.
Right. Well, Coach, you got Georgiana at home Friday. It is Friday night, right?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. We had a few teams, playing on Thursday, so I want to make sure of that. And of course, this is a streak of 4 region games to finish out your schedule.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, we have 19 regions, so most all our games are
right.
region games.
Well, that's true. I got you. Well, I guess Luverne and Highland were your only non-region games, and but Coach, listen, again, awesome game last week. I know the fans enjoyed it. Of course, it's all about getting better, as you tell me every week, and hopefully y'all will work on that stuff and turn it into a big victory Friday night. And thank you for all you do for these kids. And I know the community will be out in full force. And good luck against Georgiana.
All right, thank you, Mr. Daniels. We appreciate it.
Take care.
Yes,
the place that puts God and family first. How long you been driving for Wiley Sanders?
7 years.
How long you been driving for Wiley?
6 years.
How many miles you get away?
2,500.
Wow. How many miles you get away?
2,700.
Are you in the 401k?
Yes, sir.
Matching at 4%?
Yes.
Wow. Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, Troy, Alabama. Are y'all happy?
Oh, very happy.
Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, Troy, Alabama. Come drive for the best today. Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, Troy, Alabama.
Our wide selection of pre-owned vehicles looks so good, you'll think they're new.
So take the short drive to Bill Jackson Ford in Troy, where you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
Bill Jackson Ford, Troy, Alabama.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm working underneath this truck.
Oh man, can you work on diesel trucks?
No, I can't.
Do you know that Wiley Sanders will train you to work on diesel trucks?
Really?
In a shop.
In a shop?
A shop. My man, you made it.
Yes, sir, I did.
You came to Wiley Sanders to a shop. How you like teaching this young man?
I enjoy helping these guys be successful.
So if they can work on a little truck, you can teach them how to work on a big truck.
Yes, sir, we sure can.
Come to Wiley Sanders Truck Line where we'll teach you how to work on a big truck.
We're blowing away high prices. Use Nissan, Honda, Toyota, Chevy, Ford. We got them. And they're all marked down. Over 120 to choose from. Bring home $350 a week and you can be approved. Shop PremierTroy.com or come see us. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody. Where should you go to find the best deals on a vehicle? Anywhere, anytime? PremierTroy.com. Shop our huge selection. PremierTroy.com. Pick your next vehicle. Pick your payment. Yes. Shop, save, and buy. PremierTroy.com. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
Josh Malloy here, Mitchell Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and I'm calling an all-out blitz on all of our pre-owned inventory. This month, every pre-owned vehicle will be discounted.
You can punch your old ride and choose from our great selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs.
Even if your credit's been sacked,
we'll tackle the banks to get you approved.
let our Solution Squad show you why we're Enterprise's favorite dealer.
Whether it's new or pre-owned, we've got you covered at Plaza Drive Enterprise or online at MitchellChrysler.com.
Wiley Sanders Truck Line, where we put God and family first. We go to Illinois,
Indiana, North Carolina, South Carolina,
Ohio, Arkansas. We're looking for good in-dump drivers. That's right, Wiley Sanders Truck Line. 401k, Blue Cross Blue Shield, dental plan. Hey, these wheels roll, you make money. If you're not driving one of them, you're driving at the wrong place. Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, Troy, Alabama. Tell us where we go.
Indiana,
North Carolina, and South Carolina.
Ohio and Arkansas.
Wiley Sanders Truck Line, Troy, Alabama.
Josh Malloy here, Mitchell Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and I'm calling an all-out blitz on all of our pre-owned inventory. This month, every pre-owned vehicle will be discounted.
You can punch your old Ram and choose from our great selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs.
even if your credit's been sacked.
We'll tackle the banks to get you approved.
Let our Solution Squad show you why we're Enterprise's favorite dealer.
Whether it's new or pre-owned, we've got you covered at Plaza Drive Enterprise or online at MitchellChrysler.com. Josh Malloy here, Mitchell Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and I'm calling an all-out blitz on all of our pre-owned inventory. This month, every pre-owned vehicle will be discounted.
You can punch your old Ram and choose from our great selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs.
Even if your credit's been sacked.
We'll tackle the banks to get you approved.
Let our Solution Squad show you why we're Enterprise's favorite dealer.
Whether it's new or pre-owned, we've got you covered at Plaza Drive Enterprise or online at MitchellChrysler.com.
We know life can...
Hey, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Holland Home Squadron Coaches Show. I'm David Helms, your host, and with me is Coach Will Pouncey, the head coach of the squadron, of actually the undefeated squadron. Coach, welcome to the show.
Hey, man, thank y'all for having me again.
Hey, Coach, I got a chance to listen to the game last week, and then last night I watched the replay, and, man, what a big win you had over Brantley, 28-27, which brings your record to 6-0, and you're 3-0 in the region. But Brantley, Highland Home, Luverne, it's always a county rivalry, and that was a huge win.
It was a really big win for us, absolutely. I think it's the first time that we beat Brantley, I think in 15 years, actually, in the regular season. Now, we played some jamborees together, and you maybe got a victory here or there with that over the last 15 years. So for an actual game that went in the book, it was the first time, I believe, since around 2007 that we've actually beat them. And I can't recall if that was in Brantley, Alabama, or if that was in Highland Home. So I really don't know the last time we beat them in Brantley. But it is what it is. Like I said, I'm very proud of our guys, and a lot of respect to Brantley for the program that they have, and for the team they put on the field every Friday night.
Well, I know from a fan standpoint, it was just a great game, and Coach, both teams are battle tested for the playoffs for sure. I mean, it was a game that was marred by penalties, turnovers, big plays, interceptions, fumbles. I mean, the weather. You had a little bit of everything Friday night. But hey, I wanted to ask you: did the weather? I know it rained at halftime, but was that a difference maker or not really?
Well, I mean, nobody ever saw it coming. I mean, for all we knew, the radar was clear, and we had a good first half. I think it was 14-14 at half, and very, very competitive first half. We go in, and everybody makes their adjustments and all that, and about that time the bottom falls out. So then we come out, we're like, we got to kind of prepare, for these field conditions, to play with wet balls, to overcome this adversity. And Brantley handled that better than we did in the third quarter as they built up a lead on us. But it was just another thing, man. So our guys, they fought through it. We all fought through it. I mean, you got to be ready and tested for anything. And I think both squads did a really good job adjusting to the weather aspect of the game. Right.
Well, Coach, I know on the first series y'all both went 3 and out, and I said, well, it's going to be a defensive game. And then y'all score, I think you quarterback McKenzie to maybe K.D. Shepard the first touchdown, I believe that's right. And you go up 7-0, then Brantley responds 7-7. And then I thought it was a big momentum for you to return that. You had a kickoff return of about 70 yards. But I don't have who returned that kickoff?
That is Tyler Cheney. Tyler Cheney is a sophomore for us and really dynamic athlete. He's really kind of hitting the scene now, kind of under the radar. we got KD Shepard back there in the back, and we got Latragan Cooper on the other side over there as our 3 deep returners. And, a lot of people don't know Tyler yet, but he is really about to hit the scene. He's a really dynamic athlete, and it's going to be the future. We only got Kendarius, only got KD for this year, then he's going off to play college football somewhere. And we're extremely excited about that, but we're very confident about Tyler Chaney stepping in, in there trying to fill his shoes with the ability he has. And it was on display Friday night whenever he took that kickoff back and the plays that he makes. So we're really excited about him and his future.
Yeah, what grade level is he, Coach?
He's a 10th grader.
Okay.
Just a 10th grader.
Wow. Okay. Well, as you said, it was 14-14 at the half. Brantley comes out and scores a couple of touchdowns. They go ahead 27-14, excuse me.
Yes.
And then I thought there was a big momentum shift. Your guy strips the ball, runs it in for a touchdown. So that really changed the game.
Well, absolutely. I mean, Taryn Brown, a kid that hasn't played before us the last couple of years. He played his freshman year. Now he's a senior. He's a really good basketball player. Played in the North-South All-Star game in basketball. Came up with a big play there. But, the fumble was, initialized by our defensive end, C.J. May, who I don't want to go without saying he went up and got an offer from the University of Tennessee this past weekend. So we're extremely excited for him and his future. He's just a sophomore, another 10th grader as well. And I know Austin Norman and Austin Crittenden, our linebackers, were on the flow of that play as well. And they went in, made contact, ball popped out. And, of course, Taryn gets it and does the rest, taking it to the house for us. And just a big momentum play for us. And, we're down 27-14. We punt the ball away. But there was never any panic. But, down 2 touchdowns in Brantley. That's tough to recover from. I mean, that's very tough to recover from. But it took a big play like that to get the momentum back in our favor. And from that play on, I felt like, I felt like when we did that we were about to find a way to win the ball game.
Yeah, well, that definitely jump-started you, kind of gave you a little spark there for sure. And then I guess later, quarterback McKenzie has a touchdown pass to J.J. Falk. Is that correct?
That's correct. So we go back on, with our defense. Our defense gets a big hold there, and they punt it to us. And now it's time for the offense to step up because we haven't done anything the whole second half. Brantley was fired on all cylinders and shutting our offense down. And, I was a little worried about my offensive coordinator calling those plays. By the way, my offensive coordinator is me right now, so that's who I'm worried about.
Yeah, I got
you. I was a little worried about myself.
Yeah.
But no, we ended up got the momentum going and got the drive going, and then we found a way to get JJ open down the sideline, and it was just a big play, a perfectly thrown ball from a quarterback, Bryce McKenzie, and he goes into the end zone, and then how about Austin Norman, my kicker, my middle linebacker, one of my running backs. Just a kid who's just a grinder. I'm telling you, he always jokes he's going to be a future Marine one day. I mean, just the way he approaches life, the way he does everything. He's a special talent. But he goes 4 for 4 on extra points the other night, and that ended up being the difference in the ball game.
Right. I was going to ask you about that, but you're right. In special teams, not only you kicked 4 extra points, but you had the kickoff return. And but anyway, Coach, being down 2 scores, I mean, your kids kept battling, they believed, and like I said, it turned out in a victory in your favor.
That's right. And that's the second time this happened this year.
Yeah.
We were down 13 points to Ayrton. That was, with under 5 minutes to go in the clock back in week 1. And, we found a way to come back and get a W there. And then, we're down 27-14 on the road at Brantley, 13 points again, and we find a way to scratch and claw our way back and get it done again. I mean, that is just resilience. resilient. That's all I can say about our kids, man, how resilient they are, and just the constant effort. Just play the next play, man. Just play the next play, because there ain't nothing you can do about the last one. And our kids do a really good job of doing that.
Right. Well, it's certainly a testament to them continuing to fight, and obviously when you live that kind of moment where if you keep playing hard, good things can happen. And as you said, the difference turned out to be an extra point. So obviously that's very important to get those as well. But Coach, let's flip the page, and you got Luverne Tigers this week.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be a home game. It is a region game. Big county rival. You defeated Brantley obviously last week, so you got Highland this week. You win this week, you'll be the county champ.
That's correct. That's correct. And like I said, now we beat Brantley and Luverne, over the last 20-something years in the same year, but that's been on jamboree years that we played with Brantley. But we haven't had a true county championship, I think, since the year 2000. So it's been 22 years since we've been able to do that. And, and that's a tribute to, just the good football that's played in this county. I don't know how many, county championships that them two can count on their fingers. I know they've probably done it more than we have, but just the history that our kids are making right now and what they're doing, and just knowing the history of it, and they might not know the history of it, but a bunch of us old heads like me, it does mean a lot.
Yeah, well, like we talked about last week, it's a blessing to have three quality football teams in the same county, and y'all play JV games. You play, anyway, you play each other every year, and it's just good competition. It makes y'all all better.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, Coach,
it really does.
Yeah. Let's talk about Luverne a little bit, and you have three common opponents. You both played Brantley, and Brantley did get the best of Luverne, but y'all defeated Brantley. Y'all both played Horseshoe Bend and both won. You both played Lynette, and I think both came out with victories over Lynette. So you got three common opponents. But what can we expect from Luverne?
Well, Luverne's going to be Luverne. I mean, they're going to be ready to play. They're undefeated in the region. They got out of the gate a little slow early in the season against Brantley, against Geneva County, but they've turned it around since then and grown as a football team. And they're a lot better team than they were when they first started. And, and we know that firsthand from us last year. I mean, the way we came out of the gate, we started off 2-5 and was 1 quarter away from playing for a state championship whenever we fell to Clark County in the semifinals. So teams improved, and that's what I've seen on film from one film to the next, is how much Luverne has improved from that Brantley game to where they are now and the confidence they're playing with. So Coach Rowell's done an excellent job of that, and really rallying the troops. It's tough when you lose early on to get your boys continue to buy in, and that's what he's done. So we're expecting a great matchup, and people love to go and look at scoreboards and pick and choose and try to compare. Well, with this team won by 30, well, this team only beat them by 10 or whatnot. None of that matters. None of that matters at all. All that matters is your preparation and how ready your football team is to play on Friday night. And we expect everything they got, because I know that's what they're bringing. And we are going to be prepared, and it's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be a slugfest, and that's why every radio station and TV station around this area wants to be at Clay Jordan Stadium on Friday night.
Right. Well, you're going to definitely get their best effort, and a lot of your kids know each other. The communities know each other, so it's just going to be another great high school football game, and I'm sure they'll bring their big crowd, and you'll have yours, so it's just going to be a great atmosphere for sure. So that's Friday night at Highland Home.
Yes, sir. Friday night at Highland Home, Clay Jordan Stadium.
Right.
Like I said, it's always electric. When Highland Home and Luverne tees that ball up and kicks it off,
Yeah.
I mean, it's always an electric atmosphere. I mean, the rivalry has nothing but grown and grown and grown over the years, and you know, the stage is set. I mean, the expectations are high. You know, there's so much playoffs stuff on the line that because we're both undefeated in the region.
Right.
Real Town sitting there undefeated in the region, so we're really playing for a lot more than just county pride. I mean, we're playing for seeding right now,
right.
And we got to be
right.
We got to put our best foot forward. We got to put our best effort on the field on Friday night.
Right. Yeah, I don't think I mentioned that Luverne's 4-2 overall, 3-0 in the region, so it will be a big, huge region game. Coach, what about you had a JV game last week?
We had one actually on Monday against Goshen, and they came to Highland. We played. Our JV played really well. Our JV numbers are a little low this year, but got a lot of kids back interested in coming back out there next year, and a lot of kids coming up. But Goshen ended up beating us 6-0. But we ended up playing a really good game, and we kind of implemented a new offense that kind of fit my JV personnel a little better. And it was their first game doing that. So I was very impressed with the effort they gave and the executions they had. We weren't able to get one in the end zone. But it's all about developing. I mean, everybody wants to win every time we hit the field, no matter what grade level or what team you're putting out on the field. But it's all about developing. And, you know, right now our JV don't have the best record, but the development of the reps and the repetitions they're getting is valuable and crucial to our future.
Right. Well, Coach Luke, congratulations on a big win over Brantley. Again, I want to thank you for all you and your staff do for your kids and for high school football. And, hey, best of luck Friday night against Luverne.
I appreciate it. We're going to need all we can get, man. This rivalry week don't get any bigger than this with playoff implications on the line. So just invite everybody to come out there and, hey, wear some blue. Cheer on the squadron.
See you next week, Coach.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Coach.
Be fun and exciting, but also sometimes challenging. With always being on the go, it can be tough to take care of the big little things, like getting a loan for a more reliable car. Sometimes you just need some help that works with you on your terms. And that's exactly what you get with Max Credit Union. With convenient tools like loan updates right to your phone and personal service, you can get more done in less time. And that is something to cheer about.